Welcome to Dungeon Mastery 123, where settings are made up and the rules don't matter. In this module, we're going to explore and expand our basic setting we created last week, the city of Ur. As we've said before on this channel, whenever you get started, whenever you create a location, a place, or a thing, you only need one big detail, something that makes it stand out. In essence, the biggest, most outstanding fact, that one thing which really sells a point, the thing that if you went someplace and asked someone what that place is like, the first thing that would come out of their mouth. In this case, we're going to create the Old City Market Ward, dirtiest, dankest, most crime-ridden part of the Old City. With that in mind, we're going to basically use our simple rules of 1, 2, and 3 in order to build this location and expand it out, and make some basic details. So let's get started. So number 1, we're going to create our first basic concept of this location. It's the Old Market Ward, and it is crime-ridden. It is the dankest, dirtiest, darkest place in the whole city. It's the first place that was built in the city back before the caravan routes. It is the earliest part of the city. And it is also the most run-down and dilapidated. New places have been built, new things have been built. More beautiful and more impressive places have been built since the Old City was created, and the rest of the city has moved on. That said, many of the basic aspects of the city still lie in this old ward. So, what are our details? If we're starting here and you want this place to feel alive and full and interesting to our players, what we're going to do is we're going to use our basic rules of 1, 2, and 3 in order to create and flesh out the city. With that in mind, we're going to basically go with the idea that it's an old, dilapidated part of the city that is now ridden with crime. Everything about this place stinks of crime. Drugs and vice are sold in the streets. Escaped slaves and beggars crawl through the alleyways trying to get by. Ghouls escape from the necropolis occasionally crawl up here in order to bargain and bid for additional meat to take back to their compatriots. This is one of the most terrible, dirty, and dark places you will run into. It is a place literally rippling with vice and crime. And it's also the place our players come from. Either they were born here, raised here, or it's where they're currently staying because they're new to town and they can't afford anywhere else. It's a place where the worst sort of people live and the worst sort of things take place. It's the Old Market District. Alright, we have our first basic detail. He's a crime-ridden ward. If someone asks anyone about what the Old Market District's like, you can tell them it's filled with crime, and they'll get a good idea. So let's now reach for our rule 2. We're going to expand on this. We want this area to be more interesting and more detailed, because we're going to start off our game from this warden, and we're going to actually use it a few times. So one player is to actually kind of feel like it's a real living place. So we're going to use our rules of 2 and 3 to make it more interesting and more detailed. So our rule 2 says whenever you create a second big detail about a location, make it as opposing to your first detail as possible. AKA dualism, a yin and a yang, a light and a dark. By setting these two big details, you set 2 focal points for a location. Everything about that location should fill in for between those 2 details. Basically, your lights and your darks, and all the grays in between. So if we have our crime-ridden, desolate, terrible city, what can we do to make it interesting? What's the opposing of that? Well, let's make it a party palace. This is the worst, darkest, most terrible part of the city, but it is also the place to go on a night out in the town. It is filled with anything and everything the players may want to engage in. Gladiatorial games, prostitutes, Black Lotus, and forbidden magic can all be found in the night market in the Old Ward District. During the day, this place is a place of squalor, a place of vice. Garbage is thrown out in the streets, and gangs force children into a life of crime. But at night, this place is the place to be. Music and dancing girls, exotic smells and spices, drinking of every kind of wine and ale can be found in this place. The market ward at night turns on its head and becomes a fantastic place. A place where men and women of ill repute can make a living, find a rumor, track down a job, and then find a fence afterwards in order to basically sell their gotten gains and more importantly, spend it all in the same place, without ever having to leave the market ward. Alright, With that in mind, we now have our basics of our market ward. Our market ward is a evil, terrible, crime place that the worst parts of the city can be found in. But it's also the most lively, interesting place at night. It's a place where everyone goes. Why? Because it's a terrible, crime-ridden place. The priests of Marduk will not come here. None except for Leon. Leon is the local warden priest. It's his job to watch the old market district. And he does. And by watch it, I mean take advantage of it whenever he can. During the day, Leon does not care what happens here. Crime and vice will run rampant. He and the guard will do nothing to stop it. But at night is when the money comes in. It's when the rich merchant princes come in order to see forbidden games and acts. It's where rich nobles squander their time out of the sight of the Temple of Marduk. It's where priests promoting little gods keep secret temples in order to try and build their own power base, to promote their gods in order to one day compete with the likes of Marduk and Eridu. With that in mind, now we have to finish it off with the rule of 3. What's our rule of 3? Rule 3 says that whenever you create anything, person, place, or thing, that you want 3 big supporting details to really sell that point. We already have the fact the old market district is dilapidated, it's running down, it's an old place of crime. There's no market here anymore. The only market here is selling illicit goods, whether it's forbidden magic or dangerous drugs. It can be found here in the old market district. But it's also a place of celebration. It is the party capital of the city of Ur. It is the place to go when you want to have a good time, but you don't want to have it in the sight of the church. So what's our third detail? Our third big detail is that it's a massive conspiracy, but not one you would expect. You see, the market ward is run by Leon, the priest of Marduk. And Leon does not care what happens here because, well, it's not in Leon's master's best interest to care what happens here. Because Leon's masters are not the King Priest Marduk and the Church of Marduk. Instead, Leon's masters are the Ghoul Cabal. You see, beneath the city, beneath the town, long ago, used to be gold and iron mines here. The mines are still down there, and the tunnels are still there as well. They're now used mostly as a necropolis, a place to store the dead. It's also where the ghouls live, those people claimed by the living death. Shunned and cast out from the main city. The only place that they can find a home here in all of Ur is down in the necropolis, beneath the old district. Because of that, the ghouls need to keep the temple up. And they've used their influence, they've used their strength, they've used their threats, and more importantly, they used blackmail to force Leon to cooperate. The ghouls have Leon, they have him in the worst way. And by that, I mean the ghouls have infected Leon. No one was looking. The ghouls secretly managed to get a scratch on the priest, with full intentions of killing him. But instead, Leon survived. He managed to keep from falling to living death. But the marks of ghoulism are upon him. The pock marks, and the pale skin, all are symbols and signs that Leon has been victim to living death. He survived, and he is now immune to disease, but he is foul. In the eyes of Marduk, Leon is worthy of death. And Leon does not want to die. But the ghouls know what he is. They know that he's been infected. And even though Leon wears a mask and makeup to conceal his change, the ghouls know, and the ghouls use this to blackmail him. They use it to find out when the priests might be searching for ghouls. They use it to keep the law out as much as possible. They also use it to funnel human flesh into the night market to be traded down to the ghouls so they may feed. Yes, the ghouls feed among the freshly dead, but there are many ghouls down there, and they need to feed. They need meat, and they need human meat. The only way they can get it is through Leon. Fortunately, life expectancy in Old Market Ward is not great. And more importantly, the gladiatorial games are always producing new, fresh corpses. With that, Leon arranges for the extra bodies to be disposed of in the necropolis, where the ghouls could get them. In exchange, the ghouls allow Leon to keep his secret. The strange partnership and strange truce is turned into a minor crime syndicate, with the ghouls forcing Leon and the gladiatorial manager to create bigger and more dangerous games in order to basically continue to feed the ghoul population down below, while also creating a great deal of money that can be funneled into the pockets of those who need it and want it. This place is secretly the kingdom of the ghouls, but no one knows it. In the center of Lemur, in the heart of Ur, lies the kingdom of the ghouls, hidden away beneath their deep dark tunnels. They manipulate the leaders and population above in order to continue their feeding and to protect themselves. In the process, they've created this crime syndicate of every kind of vice, of every kind of crime, so they play money to buy those off who want to look the other way, while at the same time always having the secret threat of the ghoul cabal. Alright, with that we have our old market district. It is now a bizarrely fascinating place. During the day, it is corrupt. It is viceroy and is falling apart. It is run by thugs and petty gangs. Priests and priestesses to gods of sin and vice keep their temples here, out of the sight of the church. And the main warden vizier, Leon, controls this area. But he does it with complete indifference. The same kind of indifference that Marduk gives to the rest of the city. This masked, robed individual is secretly hiding the marks of the curse of ghoulism. The fact that he was infected and nearly killed and turned into a ghoul. Something that would demand his death. In exchange for keeping the ghoul's secrets, he's allowed this cabal to exist. The local gangs here are fully aware of the Night Lords. They are aware the masked and robed figures who watch over the market district are the official and secret masters of the ward. Despite the crime, despite the violence, despite the vice, they keep things under control. They keep things reasonable. Yes, there's sin and crime. Yes, there's violence. But not so much that Marduk would ever take interest. Not so much that would get the attention of the church. Not so much anyone from outsider might take a passing interest in why the market ward is being allowed to continue. And with that, we got our old market ward. From here we can add additional details. We can add some major NPCs. We already added one, Leon. We'll probably also need a few more, like the leaders of the Ghoul Cabal. Maybe a couple guards who are in on the plot, taking bribes. Or a couple of gang leaders who have to pay homage to the ghouls, or may actually think that they're going to try and overthrow the ghouls. Throw onto that a wine merchant to keep them drunk and happy, and a fence to buy and sell the things the players need. We have a heck of a starting point. Now, we don't need all this to start off with. We just need some basic details. We didn't need to go to full rule of 3. We could easily just start with a single rule of 1. Set crime rate in place and gone from there. Every detail you add should build and create and expand the world. It should make it more interesting. But at the same time, don't get into so many details that you put a lot of effort into something that you waste a lot of time on. We made this old market ward, but let's face it, the players, quite frankly, could decide they don't want to be here. They might decide to travel to the city of Eridu, or they might become caravan guards. They might decide that they're going to go off and explore the lost city of Tyr. Once they get there, they might decide to stay there. Or maybe they might decide to travel beyond the plains of Den and find the homeland of one of their members. We don't know what the players are going to do yet. We've created our story, we've created our world, we're creating our campaign. But remember, the players are going to be the ones who guide how it goes. They're going to decide, ultimately, what the storyline is. Now you might wonder, don't I have a say in any of this? Don't I get to decide how the story unfolds? Yeah, of course you do. You're a storyteller. You get to create these elements. But remember, don't get so caught up in your story that you forget that it's their story. It's their tale. That they're the heroes in the story. You're just a storyteller. You can always create the outcomes of their decisions, but it still has to be their decisions. Don't railroad them. Don't make them do anything they don't want to. If you do, as I've said before, one or more of you is not going to be happy with the results. With that in mind, we're done for now. If you like the series modules, let us know. And if you like the Kingdom of Ur and the mythic lands of Lemur, we do too. We're actually writing this stuff down, and we're going to make this world, and we're going to basically put it out there and publish for you as best we can. When we're done, maybe we'll make another world. It's yet to be seen. In the meantime, though, good luck and good gaming.